very honored and very happy to welcome Afaf Nasher to share a few words today. And following Afaf's remarks, we will see a special video message from Sophie Shah, Executive Director of Detention Watch Network. Detention Watch Network is a national partner of Student for Solidarity in the pilgrimage to close the camps. And we consider them dear friends. We're also a member of that network. Afaf currently serves as the Executive Director for the New York chapter of the Council on Islamic Relations, CAIR-NY. Prior to accepting her role as Executive Director, she served as the Board President. And before shifting her focus to civil rights advocacy, she worked as an associate for Rossi and Crowley, performing work in commercial litigation. Ms. Nasher continues to serve as a volunteer with several religious and secular organizations in various capacities. Her involvement with CAIR stems from an enthusiasm to challenge discrimination in all its forms, promote positive activism, and foster an understanding of the Muslim American identity. Ms. Nasher obtained her Juris Doctor from St. John's University School of Law and has a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. She is an iconic leader of civil rights, human rights in New York City, and I'm very pleased and honored to welcome you.
In the name of God, the most compassionate and merciful, I begin by saying good afternoon to all of you. Assalamu alaikum, greetings of peace to every single one of you. And thank you so much for the very kind and generous introduction. I've been saying to many people that I've met so far, I'm so humbled to be among you, to participate in today's event, in this somber yet empowering day. And the honor truly is all mine. As was mentioned, I work with an organization called CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations. For those of you that don't know us, we are a civil rights organization with over 30 offices across the country, from New York to California. And we try to serve the Muslim American population, which is an extremely underserved population and an extremely targeted population today. And in this somber moment, I think about what this country means to me, and certain words come to mind. Words like life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Words like unalienable rights. Words like all men are created equal, although I'd like to take out the men part of all created equal. And these are the ideals of our country, the United States of America. But these are also ideals that we must admit this nation has struggled to live up to since its very inception. My brothers and my sisters, if I may call you that, please. Ideals are great for instilling hope, but the implementation of those ideas, the realization, the actualization of those ideas, depends on us standing united. I think they just answered. Sorry about that. I work for a nonprofit. I can't afford an iPhone. And so what does that actualization and realization work mean, right? It means exactly what my brother said. That means showing up. It means understanding and educating one another what is happening in each of our communities, and understanding that the community we're talking about is one that is all about all of us. One community for all of humanity. That shouldn't be a radical idea. And in this responsibility we have, there's also accountability. First and foremost, accountability for ourselves. The young man who stood with us on the stage, he deserves to know what happened to the Japanese American community. And he needs to understand what is happening to the Latino community, and to the African American community, and to the Muslim American community, and to the Jewish American community, and to every community, the LGBTQ community, every community that has been marginalized and oppressed. CAIR-New York endeavors to do this on many levels. We do legal representation, we do advocacy work. We stand with our allies to end detention centers. We stand with our allies to try to bring attention to the methods of ICE, which, by the way, was just a couple of weeks ago that a young man got shot in the face by an ICE agent. And in doing so, we understand that we must also educate ourselves. So as an organization, just last year, from coast to coast, many of our members actually took a trip to Manzanar to understand and to participate in the pilgrimage. And it is unfathomable, unimaginable, that over 120,000 Japanese Americans, human beings, children, grandparents, parents, siblings, fathers, mothers, aunts, neighbors, were taken in and shepherded like an adult into prison camps, concentration camps. And it is unbelievable that that is exactly what is happening today under our watch. And when we speak about the Muslim American community, we have to understand that yes, they too are detention centers. But we have also seen numerous egregious abuses by our government, including NCERS, the National System of Exit and Entry Registry System, in which young Muslim men were required to register with the government every move they made. Right here in New York, which is supposed to be such a pluralistic, such a progressive state and city. Right here where we tout the most diversity in the entire world. We had the NYPD roll out maps of New York City and literally highlight every Muslim community in the demographics unit. The surveillance is pervasive, prevalent, and ongoing. Turning on one another is something the government actively seeks with CVE, counter-violent extremism programs today, in which they try to give grants to houses of worship with an asterisk saying you must participate in intelligence gathering. That just happened recently. I mean, CVE has been around for a while, but that new grant for houses of worship security is linked to intelligence gathering. And I remember when I was in law school, when the Patriot Act came by, which still haunts our community in so many ways, including those that are still in Guantanamo Bay. We had a young man at a panel discussion who sat there very unabashedly, with no shame whatsoever, said, "Why don't we intern Muslims? We did it before to the Japanese, why not now?" I can't say that I responded in the best of ways because I sort of just cried. I thought that was a dark chapter in our history. I didn't think anyone would ever have the gall to say those words out loud again. I have no doubt that that young man is probably working in a government agency today, making a name for himself. We have way too many proponents of the Muslim ban. We have way too many proponents of those who seek to build walls and detention centers where 11-year-old girls have to stand outside of an ICE raid begging and pleading with ICE agents to return their parents. This isn't about speeches. This is about lives. Sometimes that means we have to shed tears. But it also means we show up and we continue the fight, understanding that past history is being duplicated, replicated today. That's on us. Part of what I seek to do for myself, for my community, and even for my children is to make sure that they too are educated, and that's why I'm so thankful to all of you for producing these films, for speaking up, for allowing me to understand, because, and I'll end with this, when I was going to public school, we did not learn about true American history. We did not learn about the concentration camps. And my kids, you know, they go to a private school. It's an Islamic school. And they go by the NYC public school curriculum. And part of the reason why I have been asked to be here is to draw a line of connection between what's happening today in multiple communities, including the Muslim American community. But how can I speak to you and I don't speak to my own children? And so what I did in understanding that my kids were following the same curriculum, I wrote to my social studies teacher, actually my child's social studies teacher, and I'll read part of it. This came much earlier in the year before I knew about this program. And I wrote, after my greetings, though Sumaya, my daughter who's 11 at the time, really enjoyed learning about ancient Greece and mythology, I was thinking about approaching you, the teacher, with a request to change the curriculum. I have no objection on the substance of the current curriculum. It's one that I learned in public school. However, from an adult perspective, I've really regretted not having a more relevant social studies class. I've come to see the tremendous lack of connection between the history I learned as a kid and current real-world issues. If we had more robust lessons on the plight of African Americans beyond a brief passage over Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., maybe we would be able to understand the BLM movement today. Not to mention the Muslim American heritage this country tries to deny. If we understood the Native American indigenous people's story beyond the 3 years of learning what houses they built, teepees, long houses, maybe we could understand and comprehend Standing Rock. If we learned about the Chinese Exclusion Act and yes, Japanese internment, we would be able to understand the Muslim ban and the threat of a Muslim registry. If we learned about South African apartheid, we would understand the Palestinian cause. And then I went on to tell her that I understand that it's a big task. And that I believe it's great and even important to learn about Socrates. However, I respectfully submit that it falls short of being an-nafi', which is the Arabic term for beneficial knowledge that our Prophet told us to seek. We need our kids to be the ones to shape history, not just to learn about pieces of the past most commonly depicted in our society. This requires a different social studies class, the one that challenges both you as the teacher and our kids as students. And then I apologized if I sounded harsh, and I told her that my intention is not to criticize and be critical for the sake of criticizing, but rather that if we are going to bring benefit to our community today, we have to take a hard look at our history's past. To all of you, you are allowing us to see a living history. I thank you with a somber and deep-seated gratitude. And I promise you that I will continue to learn from your experiences. I will be an advocate and an ally. I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you as you do with us. And next time, it'll be my kids speaking for us. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here in this space.